Hi there, this is Tavi from Guitarist.com. Today I'll be teaching you how to play Granada by Isaac Albeniz. If you're watching this first segment of the tutorial on any of the social media channels, head over to the website, Guitarist.com, to see and check out the remainder of this lesson. Granada was originally written for the piano, but transcribed on the guitar by Miguel Llobet in the beginning and many other guitarists. It is part of the advanced guitar repertoire, not because it has a lot of technical movement and swift shifts between positions, but because of the musical insight that's necessary to play this piece properly. Stay tuned and stay with me throughout these tutorials. We'll take it step by step, bar by bar, and with a little bit of patience and perseverance, you're going to get there. So let's get started with the first part of the tutorial. So let's begin with the first part of this tutorial. I divided this piece up into 5 sections, and there are some repeat sections that I'm not going to go over, but let's begin with bar number 1. Bar number 1 has an introductory E major chord. And this is a 5 out of the 6 strings bar chord, starting with the E, B, E, G sharp, and high B pressed by the first finger. And the low 6th string is open. What I like to do with this chord is actually play an arpeggio with P, 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 I, M, A. That allows me to have control over the speed of the arpeggio, as well as I could emphasize certain notes if necessary. So if you're not familiar with playing arpeggios like this, you may want to practice this very slowly. That is the first chord. However, what I'm after is the melody note, which is on the 3rd string, that E note. And it's really difficult to bring that note out when you play simply an arpeggio, because it gets lost in the mix of the other 6 strings, and it's also played on the 3rd string, which on the classical guitar it's a muffled note. It sounds a little bit tubby. It's a darker type of a sound, and it doesn't cut through the mix, so to speak, as easily. So what I usually do, I play this chord, and then I return with the thumb to play the melody note. And when done in rapid succession, it actually accomplishes that purpose. So it almost feels like one strum, one arpeggio, and then a return with the thumb to play that melody note. Let's try that again. And then as you get more comfortable, just go ahead and speed up the arpeggio. So. I'm playing with I and M, or with M and A, doesn't matter, whatever works best for you. So here we go, bar number 1. That is the first phrase, bars number 1 through 4. After playing this chord with the melody, I'm playing G sharp and B twice, and then I'm changing the fingering to play G sharp and B with fingers number 4 and 2. So what might be helpful in your practice is to forget about the melody and simply practice the accompaniment. Just to get used to that transition from the bar chord, where you play the G sharp and B with 4 and 1, to playing the G sharp and B with 4 and 2. Here we go, bar number 1. Bar number 2, transitioning to 4 and 2, and then I'm playing the melody note, D sharp, C sharp, B, C sharp, D sharp, and then a triplet 16th figure. Okay, so bar number 2. to isolate the melody. Again, D, C, B, C sharp, D, and then bar number 3, C sharp, hammer on to D sharp, pull off to C sharp, and then B on the 4th string. So let's try that again. Bar number 1, bar number 2, and notice that I'm playing the melody with the thumb. The reason I'm doing that is because the thumb has a slightly different tonality than the rest of the fingers, and I'm trying to separate the voices, the melody voice, which are the notes with a downward stem, from the accompaniment. The accompaniment is very sweet and understated, and then the melody is a little bit more bright in nature, and I think the thumb renders that kind of a tonality. So here we go. Once again, bars number 1 through 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to repeat bars number 1 through 4. Let's move forward to bar number 5. Here we have a B chord over E, a B that has an E in the bass. It's a beautiful chord, and the melody now transitions to the 5th string. And I'm playing E, F sharp, D sharp and B, G sharp, and then A, already pressed by the bar chord. So bar number 5 has a partial bar chord, 5 out of the 6 strings. And I'm playing F sharp, A, already pressed by the bar, D sharp with the 2nd finger, B, F sharp with the 1st finger on the 2nd string, and then high B note with the 1st finger on the high 1st string, E. Okay, so bar number 5. For the right hand, I'm using P, P, I, A. So. And as you do this strum on bar number 5, try to emphasize the F sharp note, because that's where your melody is, in the midst of that chord. And then A, D sharp and B. Let's pick up to bar number 6. A, B with the 3rd finger. C sharp with the 4th finger on the 4th string, D sharp already pressed by the 2nd finger, and B with the 1st finger. Again, bar number 5. And then D sharp pressed with the 2nd finger, F sharp and B together, D sharp. That was bar number 6. Again, bar number 6, starting from the C sharp there, D sharp, F sharp and B, back to D sharp. Now when you practice this slowly, make sure you give yourselves breaks, because this is similar to a piece that you may be familiar with, cavatina. It is formed out of bar chords. And when you try to sustain all those notes for so long, you get so exhausted. And the last thing you want is to really cause damage to your muscle behind the thumb here. And so take breaks. Take a couple of seconds to release the pressure, to relax a little bit before practicing this again slowly. So bar number 6 again. Bar number 7 now, I'm going to transition to this rather large stretch. C sharp, pressed with the 1st finger on the 3rd string, and A with the 4th finger on the 2nd string. And a triplet figure there, C sharp, D sharp, back to C sharp. Now careful with this pull-off and hammer-on. If you are not used to doing pull-offs and hammer-ons, and if this second finger kind of goes a little bit wild and gets other strings, residual strings or ghostly notes, you may want to just pause and do some pull-off and hammer-on exercises. And I have some insights and some secrets of the trade given in the technique packages of the intermediate level. So C sharp and A together, hammer on to D sharp, back to C sharp, and then B and A together. The B is played with a third finger on the fourth string. And then I'm going to form that B7 chord. D sharp with the second finger, A already planted on the, the fourth finger already planted on the A, and then the first finger already planted on the B. So bar number 7. Okay, bar number 7 once again. 2, 3, 4, 5. And you'll notice that this recurring accompaniment comes in pairs of 5. And oftentimes I actually count, not out loud, but in my head, just to make sure I keep track and I don't have too many of those accompaniment strikes. Bar number 8 is just 2, 3. So let me play bar number 5 through bar number 8 in context. 2, 3, 4, 5. Bar number 9 is very similar. In fact, it's identical to bar number 5. And bar number 10, the first beat of bar number 10 is identical to the first beat of bar number 6. So bar number 9, A, B, C, and then I am going to release the C sharp with the fourth finger for the second beat of bar number 10. And I'm playing D sharp and B together, followed by G sharp with the fourth finger on the second string, F sharp and B with a partial bar chord here, back to D sharp. So bar number 10, you have this C sharp, D and B. Bar number 11, familiar to you, again that triplet figure, C sharp and A, and then hammer on to D sharp, back to C sharp, and then B and A together. Bar number 12, 1, 2, 3. So let me review bar numbers 9 from all the way to bar number 12. 4, 5. And after this, we're going to go back to that initial E major chord on the 7th position. Arpeggio, and then come with the thumb again and a return note, a return strike on the E note that's found on the 3rd string. 2, 3, transition to 4 and 2, bar number 14. So bar number 13 again. 2, 3, now bar number 14, transition to 4 and 2. And then melody, D, that is D sharp, C, B, C, D, bar number 14 again. Bar number 15 now. So we have C sharp in the melody, D sharp, back to C sharp, and then B. and all that is on top of the recurring drone accompaniment. 2, 3, 4, 5. That took us all the way up to bar number 16. And I think that's probably sufficient for the first section of this tutorial. Again, practice this slowly. You don't have to get it comfortably the very first time you play through it. And in the beginning, you are going to get more tired than necessary because your body naturally overcompensates, and it will take a little while until you calibrate your left hand to apply just the right amount of tension. So go easy on yourselves. If you are experiencing pain, make sure that you relax and that don't push through the pain to the point where you'd cause damage or injury to your hands. It's preferable to just slow down and be patient with yourselves and work up your endurance there. So I'll see you back for the second segment of this tutorial.